Yeah. Hey. Well, yeah. Goonies never say die. You know what time it is. We got horror suspense. Listen, Kevin Trav digging in the bin. Dirty Dancing in Encino Man. You never know what you'll find in Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. He's got all these flicks from way back when. Marty McFly in the DeLorean. Gotta love the Cajun, whatever he's in. Face off Snake Guys, you know it's a win. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, let's begin.
Welcome to Uncle Doug's DVD Bin, the podcast where we take your favorite movies, give you some facts, tell you the plot, and there might even be a few jokes along the way. I'm your host, Travis.
And I'm your host, Kevin.
It's good to be back here and just watching movies and chatting with one another as we do.
Yeah, man. I think we had a close encounter of our own kind today, Trav.
Yeah? Was I there?
Well, you were asleep, and I was... Anyway, listen, the point is, we had a fun time watching the movie today, man. You know what? I am excited to be back with you, man. We've been... we've been spending a lot of time together recently, you and I and Uncle Doug. It wasn't a new experience for me, but it was a new experience for you, Trav. And maybe I won't explain it. Maybe I'll just leave it there and just let let all the amazing listeners out there wonder exactly what that experience was.
I was really intimidated. It seemed like you had a lot more experience than I did at it. I hung in the pocket. I think a lot of people were receptive to what happened, and I left happy.
I feel like maybe we should be a little more forthcoming. We're talking about stand-up comedy. You and I, my friend.
Yes.
Which that might actually even be harder to believe for listeners that you and I actually are funny on stage. But it does happen occasionally. You and I went and did an open mic stand-up, and Uncle Doug went along with us, just, I guess, to support his boys, you know?
Yeah, he brooded in the back. He found the spot that had the least light, stood and gazed on. I think I heard him clap once, but it wasn't during an appropriate time. You know how he is. But yeah, I think he had fun. He was supportive.
He was. I got to be honest with you. I rode back in the truck with him after the show, and you have this one bit where you talk about how you don't know anything about cars, and you mixed up, different makes and models of cars. I'm going to tell you, he was not happy about that. He was I don't want to use a lot of the words that he used, but one of them was fucking idiot.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's actually that's 2 words. What I said was 2 words, but the one word was the one I didn't want to use.
And I knew that. That's why when I got to that joke, you could kind of see me sort of slow down a little bit, and I stopped making eye contact with that entire quadrant of the room, because I remember how upset he got that one time I called an El Camino a trark.
Oh gosh, man, yeah. He brought that up again on the car ride home, and he said, I gave Trav a whole bunch of fireworks on the 4th of July. Wish I hadn't now.
He did, and I didn't. He knows how I am. They scare me. I don't like to set them off, so I didn't. And I've been I used to be his favorite, Kev. You know that. I mean, he said as much to your face, but now I feel like the tide's turned.
Oh yeah, it's starting to shift, man. I said, Uncle Doug, I know why they call it a Hemi engine, and he didn't say anything. It just got quiet, and he had a big smile on his face.
Oh, you made him proud with that Hemi knowledge of yours?
I did. He was really excited about it, man.
Well, now I'm jealous, and I feel like a disappointment to our collective uncle.
He did though. I mean, he did laugh at some of your jokes, so you don't have to, I don't think you got to feel that bad. I mean, it's not like he surrogate uncle disowned you.
I mean, I have a whole bit about not understanding a microwave that I got from just observing Uncle Doug.
He won't even allow a microwave in his house, so I feel like that bit landed with him.
And to his credit, I think they are listening in on our phone calls.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. And speaking of listening in on phone calls, Uncle Doug, while we were riding back in the truck, told me about his UFO alien experience. And I think it ties in pretty well with the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, although I don't know that his would technically count as a close encounter of the third kind.
He just calls it a full-on encounter.
Yeah, it was.
Nothing
that is
close about it.
exactly the word. And he said it through sort of clenched teeth. And he started telling the story, and his hands just kept getting tighter and tighter on the steering wheel. What happened was, it was getting dark one night, right? Dusk. You know, that weird, sort of between time, between the rational thought of day and the more abstract and strange thoughts and themes and just general weirdness that can occur at night, right? Because
Twilight,
you can't see. You don't
they
know.
call
It's
it.
Twilight. That Twilight time, right?
Vampires.
Excellent movie series. Yeah, a lot of vampires. And he said he heard the gravels in his driveway turning.
Oh.
And just the crest over a hill, a UPS truck. Okay?
Okay, well.
And this guy stepped out of the UPS truck and he said, "Is this the Joneses' residence?" And that's when Uncle Doug knew this man was a space alien.
Yeah, because that's not Uncle Doug's last name at all.
It wasn't. He was immediately suspicious. So he remembered back to some movies he saw, and he sprayed the guy with a water hose to see if the alien rubber suit would come off, the human suit that it was wearing.
Yep.
Apparently, it didn't. Apparently, the guy got angry at him, the alien, really committing to the bit.
Man.
And so anyway, Uncle Doug did what Uncle Doug does, and he got his shotgun.
Yeah, well, I mean, because he knows aliens respond to shotguns. That's all he ever talks about. We're going to get these aliens out of here with all these shotguns, he says often.
That's right.
So how'd that go? I mean, this seems like, did the alien press charges?
No, well, who knows? He kind of said, "I don't think I should tell you any more of this story," and he just left it there.
Ah, classic Doug, the old shutdown.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, he's had an encounter with an alien. I mean, it's pretty clear.
Yeah. And the fourth kind, I think, is FedEx.
Well, I know it's not USPS because that takes at least an extra 3 weeks to get there.
Classic Doug.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm glad he came to the stand-up. I had fun. It was good to do it. It's good to get that notch under the belt. I'm not stopping there, though. I'm going to do it until I find out either I'm not good at it or someone else does.
Which, I mean, is it anybody? Like, if anybody came up to after a show and said you weren't very good, that's it for you? Or
that's it. My ego is that fragile. Right now, it's just skating by on thin ice, and all I need is one thing, one hiccup, and then I'm like, you know what? I'll stick to podcasts where I can edit it until it's perfect.
I mean,
close
I've
enough.
been busting your chops for 2 years, but I've also been trying to build your ego up a little bit, man. I think you've got a knack for it. You got some good bits. Your stage persona is good. I even heard a young lady out there that catcalled you. You know what that is?
Is that right?
Yeah.
What kind of cat she called me?
She was like, "I like him right, meow." I don't know. It was. I swear, guys,
that's
funny
a good
on
bit.
stage.
See, you're funnier than me. I hate that.
It was a terrible pun, and you know it, but I appreciate you bringing me up, man. Well, speaking of something that isn't terrible, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, release date, November 17th, 1977. No shocker here. Directed by somebody who's had just the most phenomenal career a Hollywood person can ask for. One, Steven Spielberg.
Steven.
Written by Steven Spielberg and Hal Barwood. Starring Richard Dreyfuss. Yeah, that's right. And Terry Garr.
Man, Hal Barwood. God, I wish I had that name.
That is a cool name.
Hal Barwood. That just sounds my dad would make drunk.
I was going to say, like, other than a Hollywood screenwriter, what career do you think Hal Barwood's, what's he in
just
line
a table.
For?
That's a man that's just a table in his off hours.
That seems like it would be a sort of easy job, except for, you kind of get sore after a while,
Sure. A lot of people using you, which is...
I've had a lot of people use me as, like, a doormat.
Yeah, I get that a lot, too, for sure.
But not...
Well, that's cool. 1977. That's a while back, Kev.
It was,
A while back.
I don't know if you know that was well before you and I were even a twinkle in our daddy's eyes.
That's true. And my dad's eyes had been twinkling for years.
He sounds jolly.
So, he was a pretty good dude. Yeah, 1977. And we'll see, I think, as we go through the movie. I don't know if I would say it's ahead of its time for its special effects, but it was. I think it was a good year for a lot of lights.
It was. You know, we kind of talked about it while we were watching it, but like the special effects don't. I mean, they don't look modern. They don't look the way a film would now, but they look cool. And I think that that's what makes the movie kind of feel or look sort of timeless. Is that the special effects and Spielberg's pretty good at this, especially early in his career. You know, there are a few moments in Jaws where, you know, you can kind of tell it's a fake shark, but he's very clever in the way he utilizes visual effects and that sort of thing. So I think he kind of continued with this one, although this one was certainly a higher budget. Now, one thing, Trav, that I appreciate that you do, my friend, is you go out there and you take the last movie that we watched and connect it to the movie that we're watching or talking about this time, a la 6 Degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And if you're wondering where that name came from, go back and watch or listen to our Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode. Now, did you do that for this film?
I did, Kevin. It was just so easy, dude. Because, you know, astute listeners, you know, anyone who listened to the prior episode, you know, old Kurt Russell was in that one, Handsome Kurt. And, of course, Richard Dreyfuss in this one. And 2006, those two fellas teamed right up for Poseidon.
I'm not going to accept that.
You know what? And I'm going to agree with you. I held myself up to the same standard. I said, this is too easy.
Way too easy.
We can't let the two lead hunks dictate the 6 Degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I went a little deeper.
Hold on. That might be the only time Richard Dreyfuss has ever been referred to as a hunk.
Dude, he's stock. He's pure stock.
What are you talking about?
He's a real low to the ground beefcake.
He is not a beefcake, and I may be a vegan, but I know beefcakes.
What he lacks in neck, he makes up for in brute personality.
And a serious amount of chest hair.
What's wrong with that? I got tons of that. Too much, even, my wife often says.
No.
So I did dig a little bit deeper to see, can we find any other connections, you know, let these stars off the hook. A guy that he's not really, he's an important part of this movie because he has to translate the French scientist quite a bit, played by Bob Balaban. The character's name is David Laughlin. He, in this movie, he was also in Absence of Malice, which was a 1981 flick starring Paul Newman and Sally Field, two good-looking folks.
Yeah.
And he was in that movie with Wilford Brimley, who was in The Thing.
Trav, now that I liked. That felt like... it felt like cool rain on a hot summer day, the way you kind of worked your way through that. You know, interesting little factoid about Close Encounters. Do you know who the original actor that Steven Spielberg desperately wanted to play Roy? Any idea who that might be?
Was it Kurt Russell?
It was not. It was not Kurt Russell. Good guess, though. Solid guess there, man. It was actually Steve McQueen. He really wanted Steve McQueen to play the role. He met with Steve McQueen. Apparently Steve McQueen had 17 beers while they were sitting there. And McQueen was interested in the role, but he had read the script and he said, I can't cry on command. That I don't think I can be in this movie. And Spielberg even offered to cut out the crying bit, and he's like, no, I think it's earned and I think the character needs to do it. I'm just not the guy to be able to do it. So that's how we missed having Steve McQueen in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which, hey, Dreyfuss, man, home run. Did a great job. But
yeah. Yeah, old Beefcake Dreyfuss. You know what that makes me think is that McQueen read the script and was like, man, I hate this. I need to find a way out. And then through his 17-beer stupor, he was like, I can't cry. And he was like, I'll take it out. And he was like, I just don't want to do it.
You think so? I mean, it's Steve McQueen. Like, I feel like he would have been up front. He'd just be like, no, I don't want to. I mean, who are you?
Did he do any sci-fi movies? It seems out of his element, really.
I mean, the only two movies that pop to mind for me are, the Magnificent Seven and Bullet and, a lot of the big action ones. I can't remember if he ever did any sci-fi flicks or not, but I mean, I'm sure could probably do it. I mean, I don't see why not.
I just can't imagine Steve McQueen playing with his mashed potatoes that fervently.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be a great role for him. They also, I think he looked at like Jack Nicholson, Al Pacino, like a bunch of the big, heavy hitters at the time. But and Dreyfuss is over there the whole time, like, come on, man, come on, St. John's, like,
come on, look at me. He's got his shirt off,
together.
Just braiding his chest hair in front of everybody. Come on, guys, let me in. I want to do it.
He's like, I could grow sideburns. I don't mind.
Dude, I mean, it's one of those things where now that it's happened, you can't imagine anyone else doing it. But like Nicholson, I don't see that either. I mean, Nicholson does unhinged well, but Dreyfuss was playfully unhinged. Nicholson's scary unhinged. I think there's a difference.
Yeah, that was The Shining is one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. But if I had any complaint about that movie, it's that Nicholson is just a jerk the entire movie. Like even when he's like not staying at the Overlook, just when he's with his family and interacting with them, he's just awful. Like he's just awful the whole movie. It's like Jack Torrance has like an arc. And Nicholson was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna be a murderer the whole movie."
Right, cool. That's method acting. You do it the whole time. Or
is that how Daniel Day-Lewis does it?
That's true. We should see him be Daniel Knight-Lewis. He's completely different. You would never expect it.
Hey, there it was. So Trav, one of my other favorite things that you bring all these great segments to this show, and I'm
pretty much most of the show, right?
You really are, man. I just kind of run my mouth. But you go out there and you find us some reviews. Now we're gonna do something a little different. You and I here, we like to change things up when we're doing our pod. Sometimes we just throw a curveball in there. For example, like your 6 Degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not good enough, so you got to do it again. Stuff like that. But you're gonna have some reviews before the movie. We're going to cover the plot, and then we're going to have more reviews after the movie. Is that right, Trav?
Yeah, I got to thinking, we were doing those reviews in the past, and sometimes they would reference parts of the movie you and I hadn't really talked through yet, and I don't know if that's good for the listener. So what I've done is I've broken them up to what I'm calling preview reviews, which are just sort of good, like reviews that give you a feel for what people thought. It doesn't give away anything. Doesn't really talk about, doesn't reference anything, just gives you a feel. And then at the end, we have the reviews or the post-credit reviews that get a little more specific, call out parts of the movie that Kevin and I are going to talk about, so they reference back. So I think it might be a good way to do it. It might be fun to kind of get a bit of a highlight reel at the beginning, and then at the very end, kind of weigh what these people thought against what you think as well. So let's get it kicked off with people who love it. Mm-hmm. People who love it here in the preview reviews. We got 5 stars. This was a rewatch by someone on Letterboxd who goes by the homeless rock star of Palo Alto. They sound fun. They sound real fun. This is from June 2021. It said, for decades, wives have lost their husbands to conspiracies. But they love the movie. But they're like, you know what, though? Writing was on the wall. Here.
Here's what I can't understand, though. He's saying 5 stars, right? So does that mean that he's in favor of wives losing their husbands to conspiracies? It sounds like it. I mean, that sounds like a conspiracy in and of itself.
I think the homeless rock star of Palo Alto is Alex Jones.
What? We're breaking that right here, right now.
Yep, that pregnant pause was for your anticipation to build. Alex Jones.
I thought you... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, Trav. Perhaps the alien that came to Uncle Doug's was looking for Alex Jones.
I mean, it was in the right... It was in a trailer park.
Why are you laughing? You just laughed at that, Trav. That was... I mean, I was serious about that. That's a real... That could possibly be a thing.
It could. It could, Kev. Mm-hmm. Yep. Is Uncle Doug staring at you right now? Is that what?
This is why you're not Uncle Doug's favorite anymore, Trav. You know what? He said he wasn't even going to send you a Christmas card this year.
Wow. Well, he didn't send me one last year.
Yeah, but he's especially not doing it this year.
That's wild. All right, people who were meh on it. We got 2.5 stars. This is watched by Ciara back in 2019. Midsummer watch for her. Mm-hmm. She says, so, anyone else think this was boring as or is my film student card revoked?
Okay, she's going to film school. Fair enough. So she has a learned and expertise opinion. I'm going to be honest. I kind of agree with Sierra here. The movie overstays its welcome for me for like probably 45 minutes. I think could have been chopped up a little bit. Now, we did watch the re-edit from the 1990s. Now, there were actually 3 cuts of this movie done. You've got the original theatrical release, which I'm not sure what the runtime on it was. And then Spielberg came back in 1980, and he really wanted to do a director's cut to put in a lot of the stuff that he had to cut out, or he wanted to tweak
Stay
or
away.
do whatever.
Don't put anything else in, please. God, no.
So the studio told him, okay, we'll let you do that if you put an interior shot of the ship. People always wanted to see inside of the ship. They talk about it. If you put that in the movie, we'll let you do it because we know it'll bump up, those ticket sales. So he eventually acquiesces. So that's version 2. Version 3, which we viewed tonight, which is probably the version that's closest to Spielberg's vision, just has that scene cut out. So you don't see the interior of the ship.
Okay.
I probably would land more on the side of wanting to watch the theatrical version of this if I were going to view this again. Just throwing that out there for our listeners.
Spielberg's vision a bit meandery, and overstays its welcome. Gotcha. Okay.
The headline is 2 bullshit podcasters insult Steven Spielberg's ability to make a movie. Who do we think we are, Trav?
He was young. He was young then, okay? I am curious, though. Do we know the runtime on the theatrical release compared to the 2 hours and 17 minutes we just wasted? Watched it.
What, 2 hours and 17 minutes? I'll tell you what. You get to that next movie review, and I'll see what I can do to figure that out.
All right. Coming up here, of course, we always do people that are low on it. You got to talk. You got to let the haters have their voice. And we got a 0.5 star from Elusive 2. This was from October of 2021, and they say. This is the first time I've felt such an enormous dissonance between other ratings and my own judgment. This was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It is incredibly slow. There is no plot, no character, an annoying soundtrack written by a 3-year-old, and repetitive scenes that slowly choke your will to live. And I do want to point out, I don't think John Williams is a 3-year-old.
You don't think so?
That seemed like a slam in the wrong direction. The score wasn't that bad. The score was fine.
Well, I personally like the score. I thought it was good, and especially, you get a lot of that clever musical stuff happening at the end of the movie, and I guess that was probably written by Williams as well. Now, theatrical version of this clocked in about the same time. It was only a few minutes shorter, so there must have been a few things that he put back in there. So it was still well over 2 hours.
Okay, all right. Well, with that said, we're kind of getting 2 sort of similar opinions here, with the movie being a bit slow in plotting and maybe having some unnecessary bits thrown in there. You and I think, both agree with that. I feel like most of the world agrees with that, to be honest. I think people that like it are like a little long in the tooth, but had fun. So I guess that's the big common denominator for a lot of us.
Yeah, I think so, man. Well, I think it's time we talk a little bit about this plot. Now, you and I, we stream this movie, and we watch it together. Usually via the internet. Sometimes we hold hands and watch movies together.
Absolutely.
I have to hook the DVD player up to my laptop, which, hey, that's a huge hassle. Appreciate doing that. But when the movie opens up, it's just silent credits for a while. So we thought we were having some AV issues, and you were getting really upset about it, Trav. I remember you threw something at Ralph, your cat.
Yeah. I said, Ralph, shut up. I can't hear this quiet movie.
So as we open on this movie, now they are in what I'm assuming is the Sonoran Desert. It's a desert. People are speaking Spanish, so I'm just trying to figure out, geographically speaking, where they'd be. But I'm going to assume the Sonoran Desert. No, Mojave. I bet it's the Mojave. Anyway, it was a desert somewhere in the West. People are speaking Spanish. Let's leave it at that. Now,
okay.
You get an introduction to the sort of French character. There's a whole bunch of people running around. They're saying a lot of things happen. Then they find some old airplanes, just sitting out in the middle of the desert. They look they're old model airplanes that still look brand new. That seems weird to find out in the middle of the desert, doesn't it, Trav?
Sure does. You wouldn't expect to find those out in the middle of the desert, especially because we come to find out what those planes are, where they were supposed to be. And well, we don't really find that out from them because, again, it's a lot of, it's Spanish. So we have to put some pieces together, and they reference Flight 19 a little bit. But if you were an astute Unsolved Mysteries viewer back in the day, like I was, and I watched all the seasons through multiple times because I was going to solve one of them. I never did, and I still could. I've not given up. But one of the stories there talks about Flight 19, which was a group of torpedo bombers that disappeared over the Bermuda Triangle, nowhere near a desert, on December of 1945. This is a true thing. It's a true thing that happened. There were 5 planes, and all 14 airmen on the flight were lost, never seen from again. So they leveraged that real mystery, throw that in here, and say, "Oh, we found some planes out of the desert. Holy smokes! This is Flight 19. These planes."
Mm-hmm. And even some of the planes still had gasoline in them, still had fuel, which is pretty interesting as well.
Yeah.
But that was really the gist of that scene. There's a sort of an old codger that's sitting there, and they ask him, hey, where do these planes come from? And he says, like, I don't know, some light in the sky or, magic moonbeams. I don't know exactly what he says, but something that leads you to believe probably spaceships. Probably spaceships.
And that's a good point. It's not that the planes left in 1945 landed in this desert and they just discovered them. Those planes just now appeared in the desert.
Which is kind of interesting. Like, what did the aliens just decide? Like, nah, we're done with these now. Were they like little toys? They were like, I don't like. Or did they just like, no, you know what? These are garbage. Like, maybe they felt like, you get that thing at the flea market and you think, man, this is really gonna look good on my mantle. And then they flew their mothership all the way back to their planet, put it on their mantle, and they're like, nah, that kind of sucks. I'm just gonna take it to the dump. And then they just dump it back on Earth.
Yeah, either that or have you ever actually like accidentally stolen something and then you realize too late that you have it and then you just try to sneak it back somewhere, but you don't really know where you picked it up? They're like, it was somewhere here, and then they just threw it in the desert.
Just there-ish. They'll find it. It's fine. It's not a problem. Well, next there's a air traffic control scene that went on probably, I don't know, at least 20% too long. But essentially some pilots see a strange thing in the air, and they say it has pretty colors. And that's really the gist of all that happens there. We can just, I think we can just gloss over that scene.
Yeah, I'm scrubbing over the time here, and I agree with you. I thought it was at least half an hour of the movie. Somehow it only lasted 3 minutes, but God, it felt long.
It sure did, man. I think it's because it didn't have any, like, it literally could have been a 4-line scene. Maybe a minute long at most, but no. I think that's the story of a lot of these scenes. Now the next scene, whoosh, we see this little fella, and this little fella he has a wild time during this movie. This is little Barry Goulier, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And he's sleeping in his room, and all sorts of weird things starts happening. Now there's this monkey toy, and I don't know if you're familiar with this. It's the monkey with the big bloodshot eyes that like bangs on the cymbals. Yeah, I don't know what evil parent buys this for a child, but it is in a lot of children's rooms in movies. And I just can't fathom. Like, do you want your child to have night terrors? Because this thing's terrifying. That's how your child's going to have night terrors.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's a monkey that can only play the cymbals with max amount of aggression. It doesn't have like a halfway point where it hits them slightly. It smashes cymbals while staring at you unblinkingly. It's a terrifying toy on purpose. The 70s were a different time.
It was just, you just wanted to terrify your kids. It's how you toughen them up for the future.
Filled with asbestos. It didn't even have stuff in, no cotton.
Lead paint and asbestos everywhere. It was delicious. Well, anyway, all of his toys and bibbles and bobbles and electronic things in his record player are making noise. So he wakes up, he walks down, he finds some disarray. All the food is out of the fridge, which seems strange because for some reason, the alien spacecraft, spoiler, it's an alien spacecraft that's causing all the shenanigans, makes food fly out of the refrigerator, but also does things with electronics. I don't know how alien magic works in this movie, but it does all kinds of weird stuff. Well, little fella heads outside to see if he can figure out what's going on. He's itty bitty. Like, he can't be more than like 3. Now, I've got an issue with Mom. Mom sleeps on the ground floor in her bedroom, every window open. It's like, no wonder there were so many serial killers in the 70s. This is not a secure situation.
Yeah, and you and I were talking, like, did the window unit, the old air conditioner, did that stave off the home intruder? Was that the point where they were like, dang, we're going to have to regroup? They're starting to stuff the windows full of machines and shutting them. Yeah. We can't get in through the window. We're going to have to do the chimney like Santa Claus.
It was a real downturn in the serial killer market during the air conditioning revolution.
I bet. Yeah.
The late 70s and 80s. So that's the general gist of the scene. Little guy goes outside. Mom sees him running away, and she's like, I got to go get him. I can't just let my toddler run out in the woods.
Agreed.
Surprising for the 70s, because I thought toddlers could just go in the woods wherever they wanted, but that's fine. So we jump on over to the Neary's house, Roy's house. He's with his fam, and the power goes off. Now, that's really for some reason he's playing with trains. I don't know.
Bro loves trains, dude.
Bro does love trains.
Gosh, and I'm wondering if this is like Richard Dreyfuss really wanting to be like, all right, I'll be in the movie, but can I bring my trains?
Either way, he did.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, if any of our listeners are like model train collectors, man, drop in the Discord and let us know what you like about it. What makes it interesting to you? Because
name one thing fun about it. I would love to know what it is.
Well, the gist of what happens in this scene is the power goes off, and we find out that Roy works for the presumably the power electric company, and they call him into work, and he heads on in.
Can I cut you off, Kevin? I have a question.
Yeah,
I'm so
ahead,
sorry.
bud.
I mean, you feel free to cut this out, but I just happen to be rewatching the scene here, and there's a kid in a playpen that's easily way too big for the playpen. Look, there's a kid in there that's easily what is that kid, like 10? You don't want to. What are you doing in there?
Oh no, he hops in and gets. So they have a little sister. I don't know if you remember this. It's the 2 boys. The oldest is played by Richard Dreyfuss' son, actually. But they have a little sister, and so he hops in the playpen and grabs the little sister's doll and is like a little serial killer, just banging it on the pack and play for some reason.
He really is. He is. Okay, I see now. Okay, I guess that makes more. I was caught off guard. I was like, speaking of serial killers, there was one in the film. All right, carry on.
Thinking about the end of this movie, you forgot Richard Dreyfuss' family faster than Richard Dreyfuss forgot his family, and that's saying something.
I'm starting to realize why the ending is the way it is.
So anyway, old Richard Dreyfuss heads into work at the power plant. There's just a lot of yelling and going on, and they say, hey, you go out. You used to work out where we think this power outage is. You just go on out there and fix it. And he's like, are you serious? Like, I don't even know what the problem is. Do you know what the problem is? He's like, no, just get out of here. And so Richard Dreyfuss's character, Roy, is out just cruising around. He's paying no attention to basic road safety. He's looking at a map while he's driving. He's got it covering the windshield so he can't see what's going on. Meanwhile, Jillian, who is the mother of a little Barry, is of course running around, and they're kind of cross-cut between those 2 scenes. And there's I do like this. I think this is cool and clever. While he's parked, a car comes up behind him. And he's parked in the middle of the road trying to figure out this map where the power outage might be. And this car comes up behind him, and he flags him around and hey, you're an idiot. You're in the road. And he's like, yeah, you turkey. And a little bit later, we flash back to the same scene, and the alien spaceship cruises up behind him like it's a car, and then it just raises up in the air, and I'm like, these aliens traveled, thousands, if not millions of galactic miles just to tailgate Richard Dreyfuss?
Right? Gosh dang. Couldn't believe it myself, but then it gets a little weirder than that.
It does. The ship sort of hovers over Roy's truck and shines a bright light on him. He gets a sunburn on half his face from this light, and then it sort of hovers over the road it turns off all of its lights like a teenager trying to pull in the driveway if you've missed curfew.
Yep.
And
Past
cruises
curfew,
up
yeah.
the road a little bit, flashes a light, and then it's gone, right? And then that's when Richard Dreyfuss's flashlight and truck start working, not synchronized. They do it separately, so he gets 2 different jump scares when they start to work again, which was also kind of fun. That was kind of fun. I'll give it to the movie. That was.
Yeah, that becomes a theme in the movie too, where things, don't operate right or get jostled or move with no rhyme or reason. Like, It's not like, oh, that moved because I guess it's magnetic, or this turned on because it's electronic. It's like some things turn on, some things move, some things catch fire. It's like you can't really pinpoint like what's being jostled how.
Bro,
it's really
alien
confusing.
magic. It's just alien magic. Just
Kev,
great.
I do want to point out in this version that I've downloaded for our scrub purpose, that whole scene where they're all wearing yellow hats, confused about the power, is not in it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It skips that, goes right to the truck.
Oh, man. We probably should have watched the theatrical version because that would have probably... Because that was just nonsense. It really didn't need to be in there. I mean,
Didn't need to be in there.
I don't know why we're questioning Steven Spielberg, but, here we are.
Well, I'm curious, Kev, and I know now that you're Uncle Doug's favorite, can you name the make and model of this here classic yellow truck?
If it was on screen, I probably...
I'm getting it there for you, bud. Give me just a second. Here.
You know what, Trav? That is a yellow Ford F-250.
Ah, first try. Nice.
Yeah, in no way did we just edit that after I Googled it.
Ah, man. Well, yeah. Well, then we go through the whole scene where the mailboxes shake, everything goes in upheaval, things are turning off and on. We get a sense that there might be some alien activity, Kev. I'm just saying.
A little bit of that going on. Well, Roy decides to chase the lights that he has seen in the sky. He nearly splatters poor little Barry Gueller to the road.
Yeah, that little kid that ran off. He's in the road.
Yeah. They ending up in the same place. There's some weird guy sitting by the side of the road who makes no effort to save this toddler that's clearly in the middle of the road that's going to, nearly get hit by a truck.
Dude, there's a whole truck of people just watching this kid, and they don't react. They're just like, God dang, dude, that boy about got splattered. Anyway, have you seen the Northern Lights tonight? Very active.
Very active. I wonder how often that happens, that they're just hanging out by this, weird blind turn in the road and a toddler runs down it.
I mean, that's the thing, too. Like, I don't think these people have really noticed any alien stuff yet. This is just an evening for them.
These are Uncle Doug's people. They always are ready for the aliens.
They watch their own watch every night. They go in shifts, but tonight, for some reason, everybody thought it was their shift.
Well, thank goodness that Roy does not run over this kid, or it would have been, more of like a Pet Cemetery kind of movie.
It'd have probably pulled the funding on the whole movie, yeah.
Probably would have. So he sees some lights, and he decides he wants to go home and get his family so he can show them the lights. By the time he goes home, gets his family, both Barry and his mother have left this turn, as well as the weird hillbilly family has left. And then him and his wife just decide to make out by the side of the road for a little while.
Yeah, she's like, thanks for waking me up in the middle of the night for nothing and getting these kids out in this truck. They got school tomorrow.
This beautiful Ford F-250.
And this beautiful F something or another. Come on, touch my tongue with your tongue. I need it now.
Well, the next day, Roy is starting to go maybe a little crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going a little crazy. He is starting to see this shape, and that sort of becomes a thing that he's obsessed with throughout the film, in the shaving cream. Now, before we get to the shaving cream, his kids hit him on the butt with a ping pong paddle. Trav, do you care to comment on that? It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but you know what it does? It makes the ending make a lot of sense.
That's right.
This family was abusing this man until he snapped.
That's exactly right. So he sees a shape in the shaving cream. Now, this is where we start to see the rift, the real rift between him and his family, not the one that Trav has invented in his mind. The real rift between him and his wife, especially, where she's saying, "Look, you need to let this aliens thing go," and he's like, "Nah, really, I saw some aliens," and she's like, "Nah, you're just crazy."
Well, there's that whole scene too where he tries to describe what he saw through pastry. She's like, "What kind of ice cream did it look like? Was it like a Little Debbie's cake?" And he's like, "Yeah, kinda." I was like, that part was weird to me. It's like, why would you guys just reference snacks? This is serious. It's aliens.
Maybe Little Debbie sponsored the movie.
They must have. But we know McDonald's had something to do with it.
Yeah, this was the version of product placement back in 1977, so that's why. So yeah, they have a little disagreement about that. Roy gets fired from his job at the power plant via phone. I'm not sure why they fired him. Like, I mean, the power has been restored. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't come up with a good excuse why he was driving around after aliens.
I think he had a chest hair infraction. He was exposing too much. Because he was opening the top 3 buttons. You could do 2 at most in the 70s. It was a different time, but you can't go 3.
That's fair. That's fair. You would get pulled into HR for that. That's absolutely right. And then, just as a button on the scene, he gets fixated on the shape of a pillow. Now, in the next scene, we have everyone is back out doing the alien watchings. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but they're back out waiting for the aliens to come, and it includes the hillbilly family, a whole bunch of other stuff. Roy and the mother and little Barry, Jillian, that's her name, are back out. Jillian sees Roy, and they go, "Oh, hey, look, we're sunburned twinsies." So that happens, and then little Barry's out there just making him that shape, that iconic shape out of the mud. I hope it's mud.
I think it's mud. I don't think it's dung. But yeah, that shape that we keep talking about. So we saw the shape in the shaving cream. And we keep calling it a shape, but it's not really, at this point, not that, exact. It's just a mound of junk. People are just building piles.
It is kind of odd, isn't it? Well, just when Roy's getting interested in the shape, he sees lights off in the distance. Everyone sees these lights coming up, and they're like, "Oh, man, it's the aliens coming back." Guess what, Trav? It was the government.
I know. What a disappointment. Imagine that. How many times has that happened where a group of hillbillies are out just looking over the horizon waiting for aliens? They see lights. They all get excited. One in the back's doing a dance. He's having a great time. He thinks, this is it. I'm finally going to get my name in the newspaper for something legit. And then, boom, government. Oh,
Dad,
you hate to see it.
Government. Yeah, I mean, I think I actually skipped about 3 scenes too, Trav. I don't know if you know this. When I was writing my notes, I did a weird page writing thing.
You sure
did. But I don't think
did.
I missed anything too awful important.
I mean,
we did get.
You didn't do anything anachronistic, but there's just some things going on the other end of the world that might be important.
Yeah, between the sunburned samesies twinsies scene, you get some folks over in India singing a very interesting melody.
Yeah.
Right? Perhaps that might come back up later. When someone asks them where that came from, they all point upwards as if to the sky. I'm like, yeah, we get it. We already know. We already know this is aliens. Do I need it to be laid on this thick? I guess so. I guess I do. Then you get the French guy. I'm just gonna call him the French guy who shows up. He's sort of the alien UFO science guy for the rest of the movie, and he's like, "Hey man, I think these beeps and boops mean a thing." And they figure out somehow or another, through science probably, that these beeps and boops are Earth's coordinates, or somehow relate, or these numbers they've been getting, rather, relate to Earth coordinates. Now, Trav, this was way back in the day before they had Google Earth, so these guys actually had to go get a real-life globe to figure this out.
Yeah, dude, it looked like a globe that, they ripped off the Atlas statue. It was freaking huge, man. I don't even know if that's a real thing. Was he the one that had the... Anyway, it was a big round globe.
He was the guy that he was the Titan that had the planet on his back.
Yeah, they rolled this massive globe in there, and you're right. That was the first time that I was like, man, the internet was weird back in the 70s. because this thing was massive, and they're just rolling it around trying to find anything important.
We just forget how hard things were before the internet. Like, you and I grew up, as children without the internet, and then kind of got it, or at least I did a little bit more as an older, teen/adult.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, it was difficult.
Imagine deciphering alien codes through Indian chants, going out into a different room, getting a big globe, rolling it down 4 hallways, nearly killing a man with it at one point, to find that it's leading you to Wyoming. Ugh.
Forget that. Forget how impatient you are waiting for something to print on a dot matrix printer.
It's like, never mind, just print it. Oh, dang it, even says Wyoming. Dang it.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I did skip a scene that is kind of important. The little fella gets the aliens show back up at his house, and this is where he gets kidnapped.
Well, that's in the next scene. You didn't skip that. That was coming up.
Oh, I didn't skip that?
No,
okay,
you're doing good,
Yeah,
Kev. You're doing fine. Hang in there, bud.
I was sweating it. Man. Yeah, so anyway, he gets kidnapped by the aliens. The clouds start getting cloudy.
They do.
Which that's another thing that happens a lot when these aliens show up.
Mm-hmm.
All sorts of weird electronic things start to happen. Little dude seems excited about it, though. Like, it's like his buddies are coming back.
Dude, he cannot wait. This is the greatest thing that's happened to him.
It is. And I mean, it probably was pretty fun for him. And he decides, mom's trying to keep the house secure. She actually finally closes the windows.
Yeah.
She closes the murder windows, so that's good.
You know what sucks, though? She finally locks the door and closes the windows. Then her kid escapes and gets abducted.
Yeah, she forgot about the doggy door. They don't even have a dog, but they have a doggy door.
You're right. Where's the dog?
Maybe he got abducted first.
There was a dog we can get to it at the end, but there was a dog. I mean, it could have been.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that Cocker Spaniel.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Cocker Spaniel that came off the ship. Maybe that was their dog. Well, either way, little dude goes to crawl out the doggy door and gets sucked up by those aliens into their ship. And we don't see him again for a while. Now, the next scene is the big press conference scene where the military is trying to calm everybody down. They're like, guys, look, it's not aliens. Listen, I've got this picture here. It looks like a flying saucer. Actually, it's just a dish. It's just a dish from my house.
Those jerks. Like, yeah, we just threw this through the air and took a picture of, look here, a flying saucer. And then my favorite scene is when this guy actually plays the neighbor to Kevin McAllister in Home Alone. The guy who whacks the wet bandits with the old shovel, he speaks up to say, listen, I've also been privy to information that others shouldn't. In fact, I've seen Bigfoot. 37 inches heel to toe, saw the track myself. And then everyone's like, ow. That's not going to help our case, Ernie.
Jeez, Ernie, not with a Bigfoot thing again.
I swear, though, it was a real Bigfoot.
I do wonder, because he had like this real satisfied smile on his face, if like they're alluding to maybe he was like paid off by the government. Maybe the government paid him to sort of say this crazy thing because everybody thought he was like crazy. I don't know.
It's a good
That's
theory.
my conspiracy theory.
Wow, look at you. You're worse than he is.
Next thing you know, I'm going to be leaving my wife.
Yeah, well, maybe. She might leave you. But then we get to the best scene, the most memorable scene in the movie for some, maybe even. I would imagine a lot of people got bored later in the movie and cut it off, so this was like their pinnacle, which is mashed potato gate. Everybody loves it. I mean, how many times, Kevin, you eat a lot of vegetables, let's be honest.
I sure do.
When you get a big old heap and glop of mashed potatoes, how often are you carving them into this shape?
I mean, every time.
Every time, right?
How many times is every time?
I mean, that's going to depend on some factors. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a great thing to do. And the thing that I never remembered about this scene until we watched it together is that how tormented his own family is by his mashed potato shaping shenanigans. That was actually quite hard to watch.
Yeah, I feel like they're being a little overly dramatic. Like his son's over here like, Daddy, taters is for eating, not for sculpting.
I'm not even real sure why he's crying. Like, he doesn't seem that crazy. Sometimes I make shapes out of my food and make my kid laugh like this. But the whole family's looking on like, oh, there he goes again, making the the shape. And people just call it the shape, and no one can really describe it. It's just a mound that's
kind of mountain-esque.
An edgy mound, edgy table mound. They're making a tree stump.
I mean, it could be a tree stump too if you don't know where this movie's going. But yeah, I think so, man. Definitely. Trav, I'm still chasing where you were going with that, man. I'm gonna get there though. I'm gonna get there. What maybe it's sort of a cone, like a dung cone. I don't know. Well, either way, that's exactly what it looks like in the next scene. Roy is making this dung-looking cone out of clay, and then he just gets really mad at the clay.
Yeah.
Like, I think we've all been there when we're trying to get some project to work, and it just won't work. You're like, I just want to throw whatever this stupid thing is.
It's clear, like, the shape is in his head, and he feels compelled to create it because he needs to find it. You know, it's something the aliens had this effect on him where he feels compelled to make this shape, and he can't quite get it. He can't get the idea out of his head and into this physical form. But at the same time, he ruins quite a bit of his train set that I know he loves so much. And it's just a regretful tantrum. You just hate to see him go down like that. And I really, you know what? I think he snapped because he realized he messed up his train set real good.
Oh, is that what it was? He does go outside and scream at the sky, which is a classic Kevin move. I'll tell you, when I've had a day, I just go out and scream at the heavens until I feel better.
Yeah, they're here. They hear you. They listen.
That's right. Well, he finally screams himself tired and goes back in the house and falls asleep with his dung clay sculpture.
This is after he sobs himself crazy in the tub with all of his clothes on.
Yeah. Well, everybody's been there.
He was covered in clay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Had to get the clay off. And to his wife's credit, she's trying to roll with the punches, but man, she just doesn't have that I don't know, imaginative flair that this nut job does. So I think maybe that makes it tough. Well, the next morning when he wakes up near his clay sculpture, he goes on a model making rampage. He's ripping up plants. He darn near takes the fingers off of his poor kid when he's trying to use the shovel to get more clay.
Dude, that was a scary thing to watch. I mean, I imagine that wasn't like a one-taker. Do you think that kid was told to put his hands back in that wheelbarrow every single take? While Dreyfuss just stabbing at that dirt with that shovel, just millimeters away from taking the fingers off this poor young kid. Probably not even in a union, the poor little guy.
Well, I think it was his kid, so you could, like, again, it was the 70s. You could stab your own kid in the fingers with a shovel. That was fine.
I mean,
as long as you gave him a tab when you were done.
Again, this should have been one of the early signs of how the ending would go. He clearly did not love his family.
That's right. Well, he's also a jerk to a sanitation worker. He goes and grabs his trash can, dumps the trash in the road in front of this poor sanitation worker, and then runs away with his trash can.
Unbagged trash, Kevin. That was what.
That is a problem.
Loose trash. Were the 70s that different? They had bags.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that was loose trash.
Loose trash.
Gosh, man. You know what's real loose trash in this movie? Roy.
Yeah.
He's the loose trash in this. And his family decides that's the case, so his wife hops in the family station wagon and drives away, and he hops on the hood to try to stop her and falls off. So
they just don't get him, though, Kev, really, if you think about it. They just don't get him.
They don't get why he's just, in the very next scene, built a giant clay mountain in the middle of his living room. And he doesn't even really get it either until he sees it pop up on the television.
Yeah, watching a little bit of the old news, and apparently, there's a mountain that looks just like this crazy thing he's got in his head. It's called the Devil's Tower. It lives in, Wyoming. Oh, we've heard that come up earlier. That's where things are going down. So it seems as though he should probably go there, right? I mean, if he needs to recreate it so bad his family left him, maybe he should go visit this thing.
Yeah, he should. So that's where he heads out, man. He heads out to the beautiful state of Wyoming. And when he gets to there, where Devil's Tower is, man, the government has made up a big old lie about there being poison gas that's going to kill everyone. It's caused all this chaos. Everyone's leaving. Somehow he manages to run into Jillian, who has also gone across the country. She's been compelled by this shape, this mountain, to go to Wyoming and to see what's going on. So,
and to remind listeners, Jillian is the mother of the little boy who ran off and apparently was abducted. So just
that is
in case
absolutely
you forgot.
Correct.
Yes,
Trav, I appreciate you paying attention to what I'm saying, man.
I'm trying my best. Finally,
you're doing a good job.
What is this? The 15th episode. I'm finally trying my best.
You're hitting the groove, man. So Jillian and Roy decide to try to get to Devil's Tower. They go on this cross country. I'm just gonna call it a rampage.
Yeah,
they're running over fences they don't even have to run over.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to the durability of 1970s cars, because this would have caused like $12,000 in body damage to a normal, modern 2022 car. Man, didn't even like maybe a little scuff on the front of this station wagon.
You're right.
And eventually,
and somehow they found a bird. I don't even remember. I don't think they stopped by a pet shop. There's just a bird.
No, there was a street hawker out selling doves.
That's a street dover.
Oh, Trav with the bird jokes, man. You went in for the Wren.
You wouldn't call that a hawker. That's a dover.
So they bought those off of a street vendor because the guy said that it would detect the gas that supposedly the government had put out. So,
right.
That's how they ended up with those random birds that they're cruising around.
Hey, but turns out, they passed by a bunch of animals that have quote-unquote succumbed to some gas, but guess who wasn't suffering from any of that gas poison, as Ernest P. Worrell would say. Not that bird, And this is after Julian and our boy Richard Dreyfuss put on their gas masks. So they say, well, something's afoot here, because our bird's still kicking. A lot of dead sheep. I don't think this is what it's cracked up to be. I don't think there's any gas at all.
Trav, I hate to tell you this, bud, but the government, they killed those animals.
You hate to see that.
Yeah, they did it to sell their lie, to sell the big gas lie.
Man, and that's what Uncle Doug loves most about this movie, is that part.
Conspiracies within conspiracies. Oh, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows how deep the rabbit hole goes, Trav.
I mean, remember when we pulled this out of the bin, he just said mashed taters and conspiracies and then left the room?
Yeah. Yeah, very stoic when he said it, too.
As he always is.
Yeah. Well, eventually, Roy is doing what Roy does and not paying any attention to the road and looking at a map or something else, and nearly runs over the government, which is blocking the road. They arrest both him and Jillian, separate them, and Roy ends up hanging out with the French guy who has been sort of lead with the government. And the French guy starts basically asking him for his medical history. And Roy says, he goes full Karen. He says, I want to talk to the manager around here.
And the manager is just the translator for the French guy, which is a rough reality for poor Richard. Or whatever his name is. I just keep calling him Richard because he's Richard Dreyfuss.
I'm Richard Roy Dreyfuss.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
We don't bother differentiating between character and actor on this show. It's just not something.
I'm sure listeners are like, no, we got you. Having not watching the movie as you're talking, we know who Richard and Roy are for sure.
We got this. We're in. We're all in. Well, they apparently a whole bunch of people have showed up. Man, I sounded super southern there. A bunch of people showed up.
Jesus Christ.
I done showed up, Trav, having visions of this same mountain, and the government's trying to get them out there. So they stick all of them on a helicopter, sticking with the lie about the poison gas. Everyone's got a gas mask on, but Dreyfuss goes, nah, I'm not buying it. Pulls his off. Him, a guy, I can't remember what this character's name is. We're just going to call him L.A., and this other lady named, obviously, Jillian, right? Mm-hmm. Mom of little boy who is runned it off with the aliens, they stage themselves a little bit of an escape off of this helicopter that's trying to take them out of the area, and they're sort of fleeing through the base. None of the trained military personnel see them, but the French guy that just happens to be looking out the window at that exact moment's like, yeah, there they go. That's cool.
Hey, ho, ho. Aha. Yeah, pretty wild. These military folks, not that great.
Well, the team L.A., Roy and Jillian are heading up the mountain. Somehow they know all these details of the mountain, presumably from the alien magic visions that they've been having.
Yeah.
I didn't get this scene or exactly what happens, but the guy, I keep calling him L.A. because he shouts about how the air is not poisonous, that the air quality is better than where he lives, which is in L.A. And so they're climbing the Devil's Tower of the mountain, and a government helicopter comes over, and it looks like they're crop dusting or something along those lines. And L.A. guy shouts L.A. and then just falls over dead. I don't know what the helicopter's putting out, why it's putting things out.
I guess that's what killed all the animals, right? I guess they're still doing that and just happened to catch old L.A. right as he was there. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe they were trying to continue to sell the lie for the area that they knew no people were in.
I mean,
I don't know.
I would assume
weird.
they were probably trying to get all three of them with that gas.
Oh, you think the government was trying to kill them?
Yeah.
They knew that those folks had escaped. They didn't know they escaped the helicopter, did they?
I mean, they probably did a head count, Kev. They're like, 1, 2, shit, we're missing
They're
3
like
people.
kindergarten teachers. They should have done that before they took off. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they kind of screwed up there. Well, either way, L.A. is dead, so you just got Roy and Jillian left. They make it to the top of the mountain, climb over. They see a military, not complex, but base set up with a sort of landing area for the aliens. And, of course, it's nighttime. The aliens show up. They do a cool little light show. They disappear. This is like alien human teasing foreplay thing going on here, because the aliens show up, they disappear, they show up again, and then whoosh comes in the big old mothership. Now that's after everything gets cloudy. It gets extra cloudy, does an ominous cloud thing again, and then just like Parliament Funkadelic Mothership Connection, the mothership comes in, baby.
Yeah, man. And as soon as they cross the mountain and see the base, you think, okay, we're about to wrap this up. This looks like the money shot. No, folks, you got 45 more minutes of movie left. At that point, you're like, this is just I don't even want to call it the third act. It's just a lot of stuff left. Yeah.
And it just goes on way longer than it needed to, for sure. But it's still, there's some really iconic, cool things that happen in there. So Roy, this was weird for me, kisses Jillian before he goes down to the alien, visitation base thing.
Yeah, like, dude, your wife just stormed out because she's a little upset you kept making big dookie mounds out of everything at the house. Like, I don't think that was an official separation. You still have a marriage. I don't know if I'd just be running around kissing people you met during an alien insurrection.
Yeah, it was weird, man. I just thought it was out of left field and didn't really need to happen. But hey, what do I know?
Yeah.
So there are a ton of Ray-Bans in this scene. I just want to shout that out. A bunch of aviator sunglasses come out because the mothership is so bright. And then this is that kind of iconic, I'm just going to call it knockoff Pink Floyd performance, where there's this sort of and then like the light show going on. It's like every town in America has that like knockoff Pink Floyd symphonic orchestra thing that happens. I swear this is what it reminds me of.
It was something else. Yeah. And everybody seemed to be really cool customers during that. I don't know if I saw a ship that big kind of touching down around me. I think I might have been hiding behind something, but all these scientist nerds just out there, just the bravest.
So brave. So brave. And I appreciate that this is like the scientific community, so none of them are trying to kill the random strangers that just walked out of the rock cliff face.
Right.
Because Jillian actually comes down. They did a kiss goodbye, and then she decides to come down as well instead of just going with him to begin with. Now, the mothership is landed. The alien space door opens up, and all kinds of... At first, we're like, oh, dang, is it going to be an alien? What's going to come out of this
Right?
thing? You know?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be, and it's just humans. Lots of humans come walking out of this.
Hey, but not just any humans. No.
Not just any? No?
Let's take you back, folks. 7 hours ago, the opening scene of the movie, when we were in the desert, the sandy Mojave Desert, Kevin does believe, when we saw mysterious airplanes. Well, somebody had
Possibly
to be flying.
Sonoran.
Somebody could have been name a desert. Could have been any desert. Spanish people are everywhere. So, and then somebody had to be flying those planes, right, Kev? Probably pilots. Would it? Yes, it is. Of course, the pilots from Flight 19. But they are as old as they are, as young and nubile as they were in 1945 when they step out of this spaceship. Pretty cool. And that's how, you know what? That's how Robert Stack would have wanted it.
That is. You know, I got to say, Trav, I guess you just solved that unsolved mystery.
Got one.
Winner. Also, little boy coming back to mama.
Yeah.
He comes right off that ship unharmed. Seems to have had a great time. Healthy, you know, so we're glad to get him back.
Yeah, and a Cocker Spaniel, which may or may not be his.
It's true. Although she didn't seem particularly interested in getting that Cocker Spaniel back.
Yeah.
So French guy talks to Roy. Presumably to see if he wants to go try to be an astronaut that goes on this ship, because there's a whole crew of astronauts that may be able to go on it. I don't know how they work that out, but anyway, he says, of course I do. Then you see skinny leg guy, which is the only nope portion of the movie for me.
Yeah.
I would have been like, nah, I'm good.
I liked that part.
I like the scene, but that would be like, oh man, I'm kind of creeped out by this guy a little bit.
Yeah, that would have been the moment I might have taken a few steps back. Again, all these brave scientists, and as a scientist, I can attest that we are in fact very headstrong and brave. They stayed their ground. But yeah, this wiry dude who looks like none of the other aliens we see in a minute, but this wiry alien. I don't know what word I would use, Kev. I went through a couple in my head. I'm like, does he sashay out? Does he saunter? Is it what is?
I think
what is
he
that
comes
maneuver?
out like he's getting he walks out like he's getting ready and brings his arms up like he's getting ready to start a musical number on Broadway.
He does. There is that moment though where he's like hunched down and his neck's all moving. It kind of reminds me. You and I referenced the movie Arrival, I think, when we were watching this. That first unveiling of that alien. It's a very unsettling scene. It's in contrast to the rest of the film before and after, where it's not scary. It's weird. But that's actually kind of frightening. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun little twist in there. And then come all the little guys, the little grays. There are a couple of shots in here where you can see that they're just really bad rubber masks that kids are wearing, apparently. So you can pick that out, but it's still a cool scene. Dreyfuss is back with his red jumpsuit, ready to go aboard the ship. The little guys, the little aliens, take him by the hands and lead him onto the ship. Roy forgets about his family faster than Trav did, and the ship leaves. And that's the end of the movie, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, dude. And let's stress that, because you said it so fast, it was just a blur. Roy, played by Richard Dreyfuss, forgets he has 3 kids at home and a wife, hops on a spaceship no one gives him a sandwich. He has no equipment. He doesn't have anything to take notes on in case this is important and he gets to come back. He just leaves the planet without the last person he kissed was a strange woman he met in a mountain.
I mean, that's a beautiful story. Let me ask you this, Trav. We made our way all the way to the end of the movie. If aliens landed and they said, come with us. Come with us. We'll show you the universe. We'll show you amazing things. Trav, you going with them?
I mean, I would say give me a week. Give me 1 week.
It's a now or never deal, dude.
See, now or never's rough. I got calls to make. I got to make somebody's got to run this friggin' podcast network. I can't just hop on a spaceship and get on out. I got passwords I got to give people. Ugh.
You're so responsible, Trav. I would 100% be like, yep, I'm out. I'm on this ship. Let's do it. Let's see. Because I've seen enough of Earth. I'm like, yeah, I kind of get what you guys are doing down here. Let's go see what these guys are doing.
Man, You know what, though? If you did go, would you start a podcast up there and report back and be on the network? We could really use that.
100%.
That would really take us over the top.
Me and Zlurg would start our own podcast.
But not even about cool alien stuff. You'd still be reviewing movies. That's what would frustrate me. You'd just replace me with an alien. I'd be like, no, talk about the planet.
Yeah. No, it's going to be Uncle Lark's laser encapsulated film viewing podcast. Yeah. I was trying to riff on what alien technology comparable to a DVD would be, but I just can't find it. Man. I don't know.
I was waiting for your analog for Ben.
Oh, that was Glorg.
Oh, the Glorg. Okay.
Yeah.
The Laserdisc Glorg.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm down.
That would be fine.
So you'd leave your family, I wouldn't. Interesting. Okay, that says a lot about both of us.
I mean, it's not that I would leave them out of malice or spite, but I mean, you're talking about once in a 1,000 lifetime opportunity. Nobody that we know of has had a chance to go and learn from an alien species. I would be very, very negligent in my duty to the human race if I didn't take that opportunity, Trev.
I mean, just think of the number of Christmases you've already ruined for your mother.
You know, the best part would have been if I could have done it at like 25 and really stuck it to Sally Mae for my college loans. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, but then by the time you come back, they've been forgiven for everybody. You idiot!
Yeah,
you should have stuck around, man. We had a black president. You missed it.
What?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
You were somewhere else.
Yeah, I was in space. So this is, speaking of novel and unique and new experiences, Trav, you've got some post-credit reviews for us. We've made it to the end of the movie. You've got some more reviews for us, don't you, bud?
I do. Sorry, I was excitedly running my mouth thinking we were getting out of here, but we do, in fact, have more podcasts. So this is the post-credit review section we're introducing to this show. These folks referenced the movie a little bit, so here we go. We got someone who liked what you just heard. 5 stars from Emily Housel. This is from way back in September of 2017. We were all younger back then. She says, I have no words right now. This was life-changing. I can tell I'm going to be obsessed with this like I was Jaws. Also, I'm still recovering from Richard Dreyfuss in Jaws. I was not prepared for him as a hot psychotic dad in this. This was my first time watching it, and I got to see it at the theater, which was a real treat. I fucking love Spielberg and his generic-ass aliens and flying saucers. I'm going to try to watch this again before it leaves theaters.
You know what, Trav? I owe you an apology. I guess Dreyfuss is a beefcake.
I've been trying to tell you. You and him have the same body type, just straight sex.
Maybe that's why he's not my type. He's too similar.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. You repel like magnets. But no, this person, I'm going to say, likes this movie way too much.
Yeah. I mean, I get why this movie is what it is. I get why it was kind of a box office smash, but I'm also like, this is a once every 10 years I might want to watch this one.
Yeah. I mean, I happened to watch it probably 5 years ago for the first time, watching it again here with you, and I can safely say I'm good forever.
That's it. You'll never need to see it again.
I'm good. All right. Let's take it from someone right smack in the middle. We got a 2.5 star from Jane Brown. This comes from June of 2021. And Jane says, when George Lucas was making Star Wars, Spielberg was f***ing around with mashed potatoes and xylophones. I love you, Jane.
That's pretty good.
That's exactly how I felt about this movie. I think it's a perfect 2.5, 3-star movie. It has some impressive things about it. A little long in the tooth. Some things about it I didn't think needed to be there. A lot of mashed potatoes and xylophone
No
talk.
laser swords. Not a single one.
Yeah.
That would have made this way cooler.
Not a single one. I don't even know if we referenced xylophones to the degree that we needed to, but there was a lot of tones in the film that were, the Indian chant had something to do with it, and then the kid was playing the xylophone a whole bunch, and then there was a xylophone war, kind of, between the scientists and the aliens to kind of communicate, to let everybody know that, hey, we're speaking the same ding-dong, bing-bong, bing-dong, bing-dong language. And those were the scenes that I thought were just too much.
It was like an intergalactic xylophone hip-hop battle.
Yeah. And then, That's it. You said it. You said it best. So the last couple here, because we got to get people that hated it. We do. We have to. We got a half star by someone who goes by Socks, which I hope is not someone's pet cat, but could be. This is from October of 2021. Socks the cat says, "This movie didn't capture Muncie, Indiana very well. It's a lot scarier in person." And I don't even know if we made it clear that Muncie, Indiana is where Dreyfuss lived.
This person has got to be a Muncie native. Shout out, Socks. I really appreciate you representing your hometown.
Indeed. But our last review, 1 year later, this is one we're going out on. Liz writes, October of 2022, half star. "The encounters just weren't close enough for me."
Apparently, for you either, Travis, you were ready to have some serious close encounters with one Richard Dreyfuss.
I wish they were just a little bit closer, to be honest with you, but I'll take what I can get. I'll absolutely take what I can get. So that's it. Those are our reviews. We did it. We've done it. I have to kind of agree with the meh crowd. I might go. I would never say meh about the movie. I think it's a little more important to cinema than meh. I think it's kind of a cool movie, but it's just not one you're not going to rewatch it. It's not a Spielberg classic you're going to put in over and over again.
I don't know, man. We might be on the minority of that because, this is considered one of Spielberg's classic blockbuster movies. So it might be possible that you and I are just totally off base. But I'll tell you this.
Could be.
It wouldn't be entirely surprising if we were.
I do want mashed potatoes right now, so I kind of get it.
Is it the problem you've just been hungry this whole time? You would have enjoyed the movie more?
I've been hangry. I've been hangry the whole time.
Well, look, bud, let me tell you this. On a budget of $19.4 million, Close Encounters went on to have a worldwide box office of $340,800,479.
Wow, that's
a lot of money. Now, the film went on to become one of the most iconic films of the 70s of science fiction, and it was nominated for a whole pile of Academy Awards. And as
wait, what was the shape of the pile?
Oh, I think you know. It was a big old cone of dung. As a follow-up to Jaws, Spielberg couldn't have hit more of a home run than with this film. One of the most remarkable things, at least for me, and I'm critical of it, but I will say one of the most remarkable things about the film is that it simultaneously feels like a movie from the 70s, but it has a quality that is entirely timeless. And the film has one of the most complex finales of any film ever made, with an ending that is heartfelt, a true spectacle, and an inspiration to imaginations of the young, the old, and even middle-aged podcasters, Trav.
Yeah, you're right, dude. You're right. Spielberg always has that flair for hiding just enough of the mystery to never spoil your own imagination and what you build it up to be.
We were just so glad to get to the ending of the movie that we really didn't, linger on it that much. But it is pretty impactful that this person who is driven by imagination and desire is not exactly the right word, maybe obsession, with something that he cannot understand, leaves his family, leaves everything he knows behind just to have that little bit more understanding, to understand the thing that is just outside his reach. And I'm just spitballing here, but I do think that is a really interesting analogy for the artist in general. You read so many biographical stories about artists who sacrificed everything that they loved to keep pushing themselves further into, be it the darkness or towards the light or towards whatever they saw as their art. And so it's that's a pretty neat analogy to have wrapped up in the end of a movie about some little tiny gray aliens with terrible masks.
Yeah, that or he hated his family.
It was one or the other, Trav.
One of the two. You just can't, you never know. And that's the thing. It's a magical mystery that some of us, we all leave with something different, don't we?
That's exactly right. Well, Trav, why don't you give us a little clue for the next movie we're covering?
Oh, Kev, I'd love to, but I don't know. This next movie, it may just end up amounting to a hill of beans. It may.
Well, if you enjoyed this episode, you might like our other podcast. You can catch Trav on about 800 podcasts here on the Polymedia Network. And you can find me on the board game podcast Blue Peg, Pink Peg. And you can catch us both live on stage with Big Lit Conspiracy doing some improv comedy. If you happen to be in the Roanoke area. Now, for some seriously close encounters, consider supporting the Polymedia on Patreon. There is a tier for everybody, and it gets you access to one seriously cool Discord community. Am I right, Trav?
Oh, yeah, they're the best.
And, of course, I got to thank the man, the myth, the legend, Harvest Black, for that out-of-this-world theme music. And, just like our Uncle Doug always says...
Damn it. I know this. I know what this is. This means something. This is important.